Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to our Orange Life. Thanks for tuning in. This is Deanna. Thank you to any new subscribers. Thanks for commenting. Again, I will get to all comments as soon as I possibly can. I've been very busy working. This is a busy time of year for me at work. Let's jump right into it, y'all. You see the thumbnail. Let's break it down. Now, it's a young woman on YouTube. Her channel is Toot Reacts. Toot Reacts. She read the court documents for Haley and DDG's case. So she just wasn't just talking like some other YouTubers are just talking. She actually pulled up the court documents on her channel and went line for line. And let me just say this is a real mess. This is a real mess. And as I said in my last video about Haley and DDG, Hallie's frontal lobe has closed, guys. She's 25. She's not putting up with this stuff no more. Now, I've been hearing different YouTubers talking. I've been hearing men saying, what did Haley do? This and that. And it's a lot of people, men, of course. And there's some women. There's some women. I ain't going to say it's all men. But there are some women riding for DDG. And I'm going to say this. I'm not going to bash DDG because, like my last video, DDG is young. He lacks knowing how to control his emotions. He lacks emotional regulation. He doesn't know how to control himself, and he doesn't know how to resolve conflict. He doesn't know how to do that, because if he did know how to do those things, we wouldn't be talking about this right now. So I'm not going to sit here and just bash this young man, because I don't think this young man is actually a bad person. I think what it is that he was never taught by a real man, not just any man, a real man that knows how to conduct himself as a real man, how to be a real man. And this is why we're in this situation. Now, I listened to this woman's video, Toot Reacts, and according to the documents, Hallie has she has proof for everything she's alleging in that complaint. She has video footage. She has police reports that go back to these incidences. So this is not something that she's just making up and trying to be spiteful. Now, I'm not going to be on here that long because this all has to play out in court. So when things have to play out in court, I kind of don't do too much, because Hallie has to submit her evidence, and then DDG has the right to defend himself. Now, what I will say from what I've listened to on Toot Reacts video here on YouTube, um, Hallie has put up with a lot. She has. We all have seen DDG on social media talking about Hallie, throwing shots at Hallie. He has, Halo on his streams a lot. Some of the things that he does with Halo as a mother of a new child, first time mother, I would be kind of upset about some of the things that I saw too, because I didn't like some of the things that DDG was doing with Halo on camera as well. There were things that Halo was doing. I mean, not Halo, DDG was doing that he doesn't realize that it upsets a child's nervous system when you do certain things. But a lot of young parents don't understand that. So I'm not going to sit up here and nail him to the cross for that, because even I didn't. And, when I was a young mother, it's things that I didn't know that could actually upset a child's nervous system, when they're young in their developmental years. What I am going to say about this is I find this to be very unfortunate. I don't take any pleasure, or I'm not on this bandwagon or on man hating on DDG, because at the end of the day, Halo is the one that loses out. This is a child who has two parents that are in the public eye that cannot see eye to eye, and this is going to be a mess. Now, what I am going to say, for those people who keep saying, oh, her tooth, there is a video with Hallie talking about her tooth being chipped and she's going to the dentist. And that was around the time that that incident occurred. And people were saying, oh, he didn't do it. She got a video. So she's supposed to get on social media and say, oh, yeah, I got to go to the dentist today because DDG banged my head between the wash and dryer and my tooth is chipped. So now this is where I got to go. That wasn't going to happen. She has more to lose than what DDG does. Hallie's career is really just beginning and she has a lot more to go. And I'm not saying DDG doesn't have a career, but Halle is in the big leagues and DDG is not. He's a streamer, he makes his money. He's doing good on YouTube. He's streaming with some of the bigger, streamers like Aiden Ross and Kai Sanat, and that's nice and everything, but he's still not on that superstar level like Halle currently is and will continue to be as long as she stays on a certain path. Now, what I am going to say is when for people saying that that incident did not occur, let me remind y'all of something and just think about this. Haley says in her complaint that when he did, when they had that fight where her tooth was chipped and she rode back in the car with DDG back to his family's house and she came in and told the family. According to the report, the family told her just leave Halo and go. That's what they said. Now, let's look at this. DDG's mother made a statement, okay? In her statement, why didn't she say that what Halle said wasn't true? Why didn't she say that Halle never came in the house that day and said that? She never did. Because if my son was accused of domestic violence, DV, and his girlfriend came in my house, if she never came in my house and he's publicly being accused, that's the first thing I'm going to say out my mouth because that was her complaint. Her complaint was that was her biggest complaint, the bruising on the arm and the chipped tooth. And she said how she got it. So if that was her biggest complaint, and that's what started on social media, and the mother comes out and says, what she said, she never once said that Halle was lying. She didn't say, listen, first and foremost, she did not come in my house and say anything about my son doing anything to her because if she did, I would have did X, Y, and Z. She never said that. So that leads me to believe that Halle is definitely telling the truth on that incident. And from what she's saying, she has ring camera footage of two other incidences that one of them she already attached to her complaint, and the second one I believe she said that she will have, or maybe she no what it is, I think she has two, she attached two ring camera footage evidence of her complaint, and it's another police report. There's two police reports. It's one, I think they said in February, according to the records, and there's one that happened recently that she has to get from the police department, and she says she will bring it to the hearing. So again, we're going to have to wait to see this play out in court, see what kind of evidence comes out before we sit here and say who, what, when, why, and where. Also, there's one thing that I'm going to side with DDG about. In Halle's complaint, she wants sole custody. She wants visitation, from what I'm understanding, 6 hours a week. Now, I believe that's wrong. And when I say that's wrong, because you had the baby with him and he has never once harmed Halo. He might not do all the right things. He might, be immature and do things that is alarming. And I understand he does things that are alarming that could put a child in danger. And I understand that Halle may fear for that because of his erratic behavior and temper. But also, his family is always present. The only time his family is not present is when he comes to pick him up, evidently. But for the most part, his family is present. And from what she's saying in the complaint, Halo's mother has him more than what, not Halo's mother, Halo's grandmother has him more than what DDG does. So if that's the case, I think she can loosen up on the visitation or include the mother in the visitation until things get better. I don't think it's a good idea to keep Halo from the other side of his family. I think that that's wrong. I think a child deserves to know who their family is and have a relationship with everybody involved. I understand that Halle is probably fed up. She's hurt. she's embarrassed and she has to, publicly humiliate herself and go through all this public scrutiny. But you also have to think of your child that is his father. And that I believe that DDG does love his son, but I just believe that DDG needs some guidance. I do believe that. I believe that he probably needs some parenting classes. He needs therapy. I think there should be some court ordered therapy for him, maybe with a male therapist and a male mentor of some kind. Because if he's going to continue to be in the public eye, he has to do better. He cannot be sicking his fans on Haley. He cannot be using his son continuously for clout, because that's what he's been doing. He uses his son continuously for clout. And I don't think that that should be, because Haley has him on camera as well. And he should be able to do the same. But I think what it is that he has Halo on social media a lot more than what Haley does. Now, I don't think Haley was wrong for wanting to take her son to Italy while she films. I think that is the right thing to do. DDG has enough money to fly to Italy if he wants to see his son. So even though this is very unfortunate that this is happening, but I also think that it's a good idea that a custody agreement put in place. I think that these two young people need it until they both can get to a point where they are more level-headed, they moved on with their lives, and they can co-parent peacefully. Because the way it's going now, this is ramping up to something really crazy. It really is. Because all of this is only going to enrage DDG even more, which is going to, have his family enraged. It's just going to be a lot. It's just going to be a lot. And it's just better that they get some sort of custody agreement, because I do believe that DDG does have the right to see his son. I understand that Haley has concerns. I would too. But nowhere has Haley said that Halo has came back with any bruises, or he couldn't sleep, or she hasn't complained about any change in behavior in Halo. So I don't think that, his parental rights, should be taken away. Even if it's not a 50-50, and he gets visitation, say 3 days a week and she gets four, or whatever, or every weekend or every other weekend, or however you want to do it. DDG does have the right to see his son. There are too many young boys growing up without a father, and I believe that DDG do need some help so that he can raise, a well-adjusted child. Because right now this is a mess. This is totally a mess, and we just have to wait and see what happens. So I'm not going to say too much more about it, because again, this has to play out in court. So I'm not going to do a long video on, this one should do this and this one should do that. I think it should go through the courts. I think both parties need therapy, not just DDG. I think Hallie can benefit from it as well, on why she would even choose DDG. Because according to her complaint, if you go over to that woman's channel, to reacts, she said that he was abusive before she had Halo. So why would you stay with a man that has been abusive to you before you even had the baby? That should have been gone. So, he should have been gone rather. So I think that they both could benefit from therapy. I hope during this court stuff that's going on, that the judge orders therapy on both sides, because I think they both could benefit to raise a well-adjusted child. So that's all I'm going to say on it. I'm working on another video that I'll be back. That's why it's been taking me so long, because I've been working on it. Then I'm working. So I've been going back and forth. But I just wanted to get on here about this, because I wasn't going to take long with it. It wasn't going to be, a 30-minute video. If you need a therapeutic call, the link is below. Also, when I come back, I got a couple things to discuss about some things I'm working on. So I'll let you guys know about that. That's going to benefit the channel and benefit viewers and listeners as well. So I'll be back. You guys have a good one. Stay safe out there, because it's starting to warm up. And when it warm up, that's when the block gets hot. So I'll see you guys soon. Y'all be safe and take care.